There have been cases already where nation-states have used cyber war to support military attacks, conventional military attacks. In the phrase of the Pentagon, it supports kinetic attacks. And so the Israelis, the United States, the Russians have all used cyber war as part of military operations. The United States has done everything from send emails to Iraqi military officers asking them to surrender, to turning off air defense systems inside countries like Iraq and Serbia. The United States has used it extensively, but so has Russia, so has Israel. Depending upon how you define cyber war, the two kinds of things that have already been done to the United States are, number one, massive espionage. Terabytes, petabytes of data taken down from the Pentagon, from all the Defense Department locations, from defense contractors like Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman. And secondly, the United States has seen somebody get into its electric power grid and put logic bombs that could bring down the power grid. This is the equivalent of someone in real space laying TNT around power grid facilities throughout the United States, except they've done it in cyberspace. So a logic bomb is something that you insert into the software of an operating system for a network, such as the network that runs the electric power grid. When you then want to bring down the electric power grid, you don't have to use explosives. You just send a signal to that logic bomb, which is waiting to receive the signal. And when it receives that signal, it executes a code that destroys the operating system for the power grid. Without that operating system, the power grid shuts off. There are two power networks in the United States, East and West, and then there's Texas. The two power centers, East and West, are connected up into Canada as well. So all you have to do to take down one half of the United States is place logic bombs at a few control sites throughout that eastern or western power grid. The United States began noticing sometime in 2008 that someone had systematically gone into the power grid control systems throughout the country and left behind logic bombs and a way to get in and turn them on again in the future. There are three ways to take down the power grid. Number one, you can wipe out the control software, and without that software on the system stops. Number two, you can cause surges. You can tell it to send more power to someplace than it should be sent, overload the system, and the system will collapse. And number three, you can cause destruction in physical space. There was an experiment conducted at the Idaho National Laboratory to change by cyber command the rate at which a generator spun, and by so doing, to physically destroy the generator. And that experiment succeeded. What the Aurora experiment demonstrated was that you can hack your way into the control system for a generator, and you can cause it to spin at a rate that it's not supposed to. The experiment stopped short of causing the generator to fly apart, but it demonstrated that it could have caused the generator to spin at such a rate. Had it been connected to the grid, it would have flown across the room and broken up into pieces. And these large generators are not kept around in warehouses. If one goes, they have to be replaced on order, and that takes weeks. Well, I think we need to envision a future war where the war turns on hacking ability. The Battle of Midway in World War II turned on the United States' ability to crack codes. And the Japanese Navy was defeated because the United States Navy cracked its code. In the future, the winner in a war will be the country that has hacked the other system better and defended its own networks better. When Osama bin Laden picked the World Trade Center to attack on 9/11, he did so because it was an iconic symbol of American power and economic power. What he didn't know was that that attack would cut the fiber running into the New York stock market and the financial center of the United States. And so it can be looked at, even though they probably didn't know they were doing it, as an attack on the critical infrastructure of the United States, as an attack on its computer networks that caused the stock markets of the world to essentially be offline for a week. One thing that 9/11 did was to cause us to ask what physical targets could have an effect in cyberspace. If you cut all the fiber leading into lower Manhattan, it has an enormous effect in cyberspace on the financial infrastructure. And there are physical targets throughout the United States that are sensitive nodes to support various kinds of infrastructure. After 9/11, we started inventorying those physical locations and making sure that they were now redundant, and therefore you could not in the future attack one or two nodes in real space and have cyberspace magnify the effect and bring down an infrastructure. Nation states, like the United States in particular, because we're so dependent on cyberspace, almost more dependent than any other country, we have to worry that if we don't do something in advance of a major cyber attack, that we'll have to pick up the pieces afterwards. And for once, it would be nice for the United States to be able to get out in front of a catastrophe, to be able to prevent that catastrophe. We know how to do it. We just need to spend the money. We need to have the national leadership. We have to have the commitment to defend our cyberspace. It would be good if we could do that before a big attack.